Om Shanti. Today Baba is giving us the title of an army, and Baba says you are the Shiv Shakti army and you are responsible for liberating this world from Ravan Rajya. And you must always have the intoxication of that we are with our body, mind and wealth liberating this world from Ravan Rajya according to Shrimat. Now let me read out the Murli Sar for you, these cents. Baba says, sweet children, by following Shrimat, you should have the pure intoxication that you are using your minds, bodies and wealth to serve Bharat in particular and the world in general to make it into heaven. So, one thing we must understand, that whenever I am following Shrimat, every step where I am using my body, mind and wealth on Shrimat, that is the moment when I am creating heaven. So Baba says you are changing the world into heaven by just using your body, mind and wealth on Shrimat. And the more you stay in awareness of this truth, you will be intoxicated. So Baba says you should have a spiritual intoxication, pure intoxication. Yes, you should have pure pride that you are every step where you are using your body, mind and wealth on Baba's directions, you are changing the world into heaven. Now I must ask myself, am I using my body, mind and wealth on Baba's directions? And if I am doing so, then every act where I am doing that, I am creating heaven. Do you understand the implications of every action? So you see that when we used to read, I was studying economics in my graduation, post-graduation. So there we used to learn micro and macro, and we learned it as two different papers, but then they were connected. What you do individually is responsible for the collective. But it is very difficult to understand that thing. Sometimes we talk about the state of the world or world politics or world affairs. But do we understand that every person, every single individual, and now we have the knowledge that every soul, so every soul and what they do privately, individually, is what is creating the state of the world. And if we are in hell right now, it's because of this individual effort which is creating the collective. And if we want to create heaven, then every individual act matters. And Baba says whenever you are doing everything on Shrimat, when you're using your body, mind and wealth on Shrimat, then you are creating heaven. Now we must here know that there is a very good analogy. It is said that a wall is only as strong as its weakest brick. So you see, if there is a brick in the foundation which is weak, then even if all the other bricks are very strong, they cannot put the wall together. Yes, they cannot hold the wall together. They cannot stop it from falling down. Similarly, every soul and the actions that the soul performs, the actions of body, the actions of mind, and the actions of wealth, they matter. And we are the only people, we Brahmins are the only souls who know what to do with the body, mind, and wealth. Yes, so first let's look at what Baba's Shrimat is. So you see that people think of their body as an, what do you think, an instrument of consumption. Yes, so they always think that this body is to consume. So consume with the eyes, consume with the ears, consume with the mouth. Yes, consume, consume, consume. All sensual pleasures you should keep consuming. But Baba says, no, this body is an instrument of seva. So with this body you can do seva. With the energy of the body, with every organ of the body. When the soul is in a powerful state, then every organ can serve. Yes, your eyes can give pure drishti, your face with its constant purity and cheerfulness can serve. With your hands, feet, you can create so much of, good karma. So Baba tells us that, but you must understand that the purity of every organ is very necessary. And then the state of being of the soul has to be powerful, so that our body is not an instrument of consumption, but it's an instrument of seva. So do you look at your body like an instrument of seva? So, and do you understand that when the body is ill, then the consumption cannot take place, but seva can still take place, because seva is inside out. So that's very beautiful about the body. So even when the body is old, when the body is ill, you can still, if you have had that relationship with your body, where your body is an instrument of seva, then you can always do good karma with your body. You will never feel like, you are at loss. So even when the body is old, you can do the same seva. Yes, even if the eyes get a little, smaller with old age, you can still give Baba's pure drishti. And you can still smile, and you can still spread happiness, and you can still speak sweet words, and you can still spread the vibrations around. So Baba says that's how your body is supposed to be looked at. And Baba says use every organ of the body to serve with your mind. Yes, so you see our mind is habituated into thinking about the past, future, other. So Baba says no, think elevated thoughts through the mind. So thoughts based on knowledge, give good wishes, have good feelings in the mind. So Baba says that is also how you serve with the mind. So allow your mind to be pure. Do you look at your mind as an instrument of seva and keep it clean? Because I think that's, so if you want a place to be called a temple, you take care to keep it clean. Yes, so do you take care to keep your mind so clean that it can do seva? And I will tell you, somewhere in this spiritual journey, maybe some 6-7 years back, I made this conscious decision that I have to keep my mind clean come what may. So even when there are circumstances and there are people around you where your sanskars are clashing with them, and then there is a discomfort, a feeling of discomfort, or you feel like everything is not happening the way you would like it to, still consciously with this sense of responsibility that my mind is an instrument of seva and I have to keep it clean. This is a decision you have to make. So first thing is, in order to serve with your mind, you have to pay attention to cleaning your mind. And then where do you throw the garbage? Into the ocean. Yes, so give Baba all the garbage. Yes, you tell Baba. So Baba is famous for, taking away all the poison and holding it in his throat. So you give away all that is there inside you and give that up and tell Baba to take care of it and keep your mind clean. And then in that clean mind, don't allow it to be empty, because if the mind is empty, again like an empty garden, then the weeds and bushes will start growing. So you have to again start very consciously planting very pure, conscious, elevated thoughts in the mind. Yes, elevated thoughts about the self, elevated thoughts about the world, elevated thoughts about the souls around you, nature around you. Hold them in the mind. And then Baba says, through your wealth, so Baba has told us that in this birth, the wealth of a Brahmin, every paisa is like a diamond. So you can do Ishwariya Seva, you can do spiritual Seva with this wealth. So the centers are running with the wealth of Brahmins. So every penny is worth a diamond. And if I am using every penny apart from unnecessary expenditure, if I am using every penny for Seva, then that penny is going into the creation of heaven. So Baba says, whenever you are using your mind, body and wealth for seva or on the directions of Shiv Baba on Shrimat, then you are creating heaven with it. And do it consciously and stay in the intoxication of it. Have you seen the people in the army? They have so much intoxication that I'm serving the country. Yes, and what does that intoxication do? That intoxication makes you very powerful. Yes, I saw a retired brigadier from the army, and he has met many accidents during his tenure as a serving serviceman, and in those accidents, his thighs, his back, everything has been, quite damaged. But you look at his lifestyle, you look at his discipline, and I have never ever heard him speak a thought coming from a weak state of mind. Never said, poor me, or I'm in pain, or this or that. And whenever I meet him, I ask him, so how are you doing? How is your back? How is your thigh? And he would say, I am great. I am an army officer. Yes, he said, once an army officer, always an army officer. I am doing great. And I always think, you see, people who work for the country have so much intoxication. And here we are doing world seva. And if you do it in awareness that you're doing world seva, yes, then you will have so much intoxication. And then Baba talks about intoxication today, and Baba says that although Brahma Baba doesn't have any experience about it, but he has heard people say that when somebody is intoxicated, then even if he is in a gutter, he feels like a prince. And then even in the army, and this is true, I have asked that person also, that they serve a lot of alcohol so that they are inebriated, and in that inebriated state they do not mind killing and dying. Yes, so Baba says, you don't want that nasha, I am giving you Narayani nasha. So the more you understand that, understand whose Shrimat are you getting and what is your action leading to, that you're creating heaven and who you're going to become, then this Narayani nasha, what is it going to do? You don't mind your circumstances. So, just like a person who is physically intoxicated doesn't mind where he is. He feels like a king anyway. So you don't mind your circumstances and you don't mind killing and dying. That is, in that Narayani Nasha, you will be able to kill your Asuri sanskars, your weak sanskars, and you will be able to die, give up your life in the service of Baba. So Baba says, create this pure intoxication by thinking about who has come and adopted you, whose seva are you on and who are you becoming. So this is something that Baba says today. And then Baba says, when you are following Shrimat, then you are creating heaven. So Baba has specified some Shrimat today. So broad Shrimat we all know, right? Remembering Baba, practicing purity, spinning the discus of self-realization. Today Baba has identified some small things which are very sweet. So today Baba says simplicity. Baba says, even if you are the ones who are creating heaven on earth, you shouldn't have any arrogance about that. You should be very simple. And how does that simplicity come? Because Baba always gives us an aim and also the method. So what is the method? Baba says, you must consider yourself totally sacrificed. Yes. So when you have sacrificed everything to Baba, so how do you sacrifice everything? So sacrificing everything means you remove that consciousness of I and mine from everything. And you are totally, in that state where this belongs to Baba. And it's not just a mental state, but practically also you are using everything you have and everything you are for the service of Baba, for Swapurusharth. So Baba says, when you are doing that, then what happens? When there is no consciousness of I and mine, then there is no arrogance. And then there is simplicity. Where there is arrogance, simplicity is lost. I will tell you one very interesting thing. Once one Mata told me, Didi, don't you ever feel proud? So many children love you. Yes, so this was also one question that was once asked, and it was very interesting. And I told her, do you love me or do you love Baba? So she said, we love Baba, but we love you also. So I said, but you love me because of Baba. Yes, if there is no Baba, there is no love for me also. So you see that when you have sacrificed what you have and also what you get, yes, when you know that it is all, everything belongs to Baba and everything is because of Baba, then you do not get trapped in the arrogance, because arrogance comes from I and mine. So whenever you think I am good, this is mine, this is what I have earned, this belongs to me, then there is arrogance. And when there is arrogance, arrogance is a mental thing. It's not something that only words, it's reflected in words and behavior, but again it's a position of the soul. So Baba says, then when there is I and mine, then there is arrogance and there is no simplicity. And when you have sacrificed everything, then there is simplicity. So Baba's Shrimat is, you must be simple. And then Baba today says, you should be bodiless. Now, what is bodiless? So Baba again gives the method also. So Baba says, you know, when a soul leaves the body, then the world as the soul knew it doesn't exist for the soul. Yes, so let's say I, the soul, leave the body right now. Then those very other souls who I thought this is my brother, mother, father, so I don't recognize them like that the next second. It's so interesting, yes? So one moment you have a whole world where this is my mother, this is my father, this is my brother, this is my sister, my spouse, children, this, that. And then the next moment, that world as you knew it doesn't exist for you. So Baba says, when you sit in the awareness that I am a soul, you will also forget the world as you know it. Yes, and then you can train yourself into having a different perspective about the world. The perspective that Baba has. And Baba looks at every soul as a soul that needs to be served. And Baba says, you practice this also. This is something that we get as Shrimat today, to practice being bodiless. Start seeing yourself as a soul and seeing everybody as a soul, and just knowing that there is one relationship, which is the relationship of seva. Yes, so Baba says, I have to be merciful, I have to be compassionate, I have to give what the soul needs. You also do that. And Baba says, remember, once you leave the body, the relationships as you know it don't exist anymore. Yes, so this is also something very beautiful that Baba says. And then Baba today says in the Murli, I do not advise you to leave the household. You live in the household, you take care of the children, but according to Shrimat. Now, what is according to Shrimat? So, you see, there is this sister, and once she was telling me that, Didi, you know, I wish I lived in the center and I did not have to live in the family and I did not have to go for a job, and then I would always be with swans, you know, pure souls around me. So I told her, what makes you think that we are surrounded by pure souls all the time? Because we are in seva. Yes, and every person who is coming is a weak soul, depleted soul. Right? So, but we are able to maintain our state. Why? Because we are able to, whenever a soul comes in front of us, we know that this soul has a weak sanskar or is in a depleted state, and we position ourselves in a position of responsibility and do that seva. Right? That's why we in the center don't get depleted. So Baba says, you live in the household according to Shrimat. So we are living in the center according to Shrimat. So position yourself in that position of responsibility of being a server, and be aware that everybody has a different sanskar and you don't have to go and get stuck in their sanskar. So even if somebody has a sanskar, so you know, I will give you one very simple example. there are two souls I had this experience with. So both of them said we are hard of hearing. Yes. And then what they would do is they were, so this first person, when he used to come, he used to tell me, Didi, I forgot my hearing aid today. So can you speak a little louder? So I would speak louder, and then he would say, no, this is not loud enough. Can you be a little louder? And I was shouting at the top of my voice. And then I was so exhausted after 5 minutes. And then, I decided that I have to speak in my voice. If he has to listen, he has to listen. And I have to be very compassionate. I don't have to go into why he is not getting the hearing aid. Do you understand? I don't have to question his behavior. I have to decide on what I want to do, how I want to do it. Okay, so this is something that I discovered in Seva, that the other soul is allowed to be the way they want to be, and then you have to choose how you want to be. And then Shrimat says, never forget your compassionate attitude. So with that good wishes and good feelings in your heart, you do your best. Don't get stuck into what they expect of you. Yes, so if you are in a pure state, Baba will give you some touching about how to go about it, but don't get too much caught up in all that. So Baba says, whatever my Shrimat is, you follow that while living in the household also. So even if there are children, there are other members of the family, you don't look at them like you used to look at them. You look at them as souls and know they have variety sanskars, and you have to operate with divine sanskars. So that's it. And then Baba says, when you go to work, yes, Baba says, earn money but don't forget Baba. And then have two things in mind. One is, this money will be used to, fulfill my needs, but also this money is for seva. So with that attitude, and you know that Baba says pure wealth is used in seva. So whenever you are earning that money, keep that in mind, that this money is going to be used in seva. So I have to earn it with honesty, with purity, with good state of mind. And because I have been in Gyan and also worked in an office while I was in Gyan, so my practical experience is, when you are working, when you look at everyone as a soul, then you also start thinking about creating a culture of divinity where you work. So, when you hold on to your virtues, so when you speak sweetly, come what may, then other people learn to speak sweetly even if you don't instruct them to. And when somebody is shouting at you and you are completely not disturbed and you are able to, respond to them within a knowledgeful state, completely in your power, then you create that culture of not reacting but responding. And this is my practical experience, that if you are in an office setting, but when you do not forget Baba, and by virtue of not forgetting Baba, you are always aware that I am a Brahmin, then you start creating a Brahmin culture there also. And I will tell you, in Brahmin culture, we are never taught not to speak our mind. I am telling you about, even when sisters are with seniors, or there is even in the godly family, when we are operating with seniors, we are never asked not to speak our mind. We are always asked to speak our mind, but how you speak your mind is very important. So in an office setting also, when you hold on to Brahmin culture, it's a very good method, because when I was working, I never deterred from speaking my mind or telling that I think this is not the way we should do it, or this is the way we should do it. But Baba teaches us Balak so Malik. So when you have the floor, speak. But when the decision is made, accept it. No hard feelings. Okay, so be the master, speak your mind when you're allowed to, and then when the decision is made, accept it and become the child. So Baba says, Baba has given us all the Shrimat. So even if you are in an office setting, don't forget who you are. And Baba says, according to Shrimat, you go and work and earn money. According to Shrimat, you live in the household. Now, even when you are operating with things, your attitude should be that of an anasakt soul. What is an anasakt soul? Somebody who is not lured by or attracted by what you see. So you go to the market, you see 100 things. You see them, but your mouth shouldn't water, your eyes shouldn't dwell on something. So that's how you move in the market. So Baba says, even when there are many things, somebody bought a new handset, somebody bought something, you are not allowed to not see it, but understand that this belongs to the old world. So why get attracted by it? Yes, so everything new in the old world is also old. Yes, so this is something. And then Baba has also given us the Shrimat, that when you are using facilities, don't get dependent on them. So even while living, so in the center also, every facility is used these days, because work gets done and then we are able to focus on seva. So even in the household, Baba says, there's nothing wrong with using facilities, but don't get dependent on them. Don't let your state of mind be dependent on the availability or unavailability of that facility. So Baba says, according to Shrimat, you live in the household. Just like my children live in the center, you live in the household. So they live for seva, you live for seva. Okay, so this is something that Baba tells us. And then another Shrimat that Baba gives us today is, so Baba says that do everything with divinity. So let me read that out. Baba says that you should have very good manners. You children should have very good manners while speaking, walking, eating and drinking. Yes, so Baba says, pay attention to your manners while speaking, walking, eating and drinking. Now let's take walking first. So there is an experience of one brother, and once he was jumping up and down the stairs, okay, so in Pandav Bhavan. And then in the class, Brahma Baba Brahma Baba asked another brother, he said, so Bhai, tell me, how will Lakshmi and Narayan walk in Satyug? So Baba used to make children practice the Satyugi walk. So very slow, steady walk with divinity. So that brother got up and he showed how we would walk in Satyug. And then that brother who was jumping, Baba pointed at him and said, now you show me how monkeys walk. So then that brother understood what Baba means, and then he noted that I don't have to walk like that. So Baba says, walk with divinity. Yes, and Mama used to say, walk as if the earth doesn't get hurt by your walk. Okay, so the five elements should thank you when you walk, not get hurt when you walk. So Baba says, have manners for everything. Then about speaking, Baba says, speak very little and very softly. Yes, deities will not chatter. Chattering is not something that you associate with deities. So speak when necessary, speak little. And I think speak knowledgefully is also very important, because even when you speak little, and of course when you are knowledgeful only, you can speak less. Otherwise you will tend to speak more. So less is always knowledgeful, and Baba says speak softly. And then Baba says eating and drinking, manners of eating and drinking. So we know that food should be sattvic. Yes, no, nothing that you wouldn't offer to deities as bhog should be consumed. So you must prepare sattvic food in the remembrance of Baba, serve it in the remembrance of Baba, and accept that food in silence and in remembrance of Baba. And the same applies to drinking also, because some Brahmins, they pay attention to eating with manners but not drinking with manners. So when you have a glass of water, always have at least 2-3 seconds of remembrance of Baba and then have it. And have it in remembrance of Baba. So Baba says everything should be done with divine manners. So this is also Baba's Shrimat. And Baba says that, in Satyug we will all be divine. So all that divinity has to be created here. So Baba has given us very clear instructions that whatever you are doing here has a repercussion on heaven. Yes, so it's connected to heaven. So Baba says, when you follow Shrimat and do seva, then you're creating heaven. And when you're following Shrimat and creating sanskars, then you are getting ready for heaven. So Shrimat teaches you about creating divine sanskars. Shrimat teaches us about creating heaven through our Ishwariya Seva. So both are important for the creation of heaven, and the most important thing is do it in awareness, so that you are always intoxicated about how you're working for the highest authority. Yes, because I think, the world also recognizes today the power of awareness. So these days people say that when you're drinking tea, be in the awareness of drinking tea. Yes, but Baba says no. When you're drinking tea, be in the awareness that you're drinking Amrit, prepared in the remembrance of Baba, and that it is, what it is doing to your body is giving you a lot of energy. And with that energy, you are going to do divine seva. And with that divine seva, heaven is going to be created. So when you have this kind of awareness in every little action, then just think about what that intoxication will do to you. So Baba says, do everything according to Shrimat, but also be aware about what you're doing, because that intoxication will give you a lot of strength. Okay, so sometimes you're doing good karma, but you are not aware. Sometimes you're doing yajna seva, but you think you are a servant cleaning utensils. So then you might even feel burdened by it. So no, but when you know you're doing yajna seva, it will fill you with intoxication and give you a lot of strength and boost your spirit. Okay, Om Shanti.